Okay, hello everyone, this is Mary, and today I'll be looking at Gurumin, a Monstrous Adventure. Now, I don't know anything much about this game. It's just one of those random things in my library, I suppose. And I do know that it's made by Falcom, as you can see in the corner here. And Nihon Falcom, its name in full, is a rather interesting company. It's a Japanese game developer that specializes in creating RPGs, but they actually develop for PC. So they've actually mainly been centered on the Japanese PC gaming market, which is rather niche, as you can guess. So this game was actually rather old, I think, and it's just taken a fair number of years for there to be a translation and a port, simply because porting games to the West is rather a bit of a hurdle. The resolution for this is rather low, and it's in 4:3 ratio. At first it's only 800 by 600, so first off, let's go into the options, and in-game you can only access the sound settings. It's just music volume and playing voice. So for this, I'm going to have to turn off the game and restart it. And hopefully you can see this now. So when you start up the game for the first time, you get this configuration window. Well, actually, when you start the game, every time you see this configuration menu before the game starts, although you can skip it. And it's pretty much just an old-fashioned configuration program. Resolution, I already changed it to Windows beforehand, but it was set to full screen by default, and 800 by 600. And this drop-down menu isn't showing up on screen, but there aren't a lot of options. There's, as you can see there, 1080 is what everyone uses now these days, although I think people are starting to move to ultra-widescreen. This is a 16:10 ratio, and I believe it's not very commonly used anymore, although it was one of the standards back in the day. This is probably quite often used for high-resolution CRT monitors, I think. This is just a normal TV resolution. This, I actually had to look up, and apparently fairly old notebooks, laptops, use this low screen resolution. So yeah, oddly enough, there's no 1024 by 768, but there are the ones between them, 800 by 600 and 960. So you can probably guess that this is a fairly old game, made to old standards, configuration-wise. It looks like it's set up for an X input controller, keyboard and mouse. Let's see here. Number pad for movement, and R and L for attacking and cancel. Those, and A button for dash. Okay, so these three keys are definitely not in the right place. Number pad for movement, that's very old standard. That's a very old standard. Well, this isn't going to be a big deal since I'm just going to be using my gamepad, but the fact that this isn't set to WASD by default means that it's just using a fairly old set of PC game design standards. Although I do have to type in my name. Padding. These graphics seem rather simplistic. Although it's still quite nice looking because of the high resolution, even though the poly count is rather low. Oh, that's nice. Our face changes when I change. Did it change? Oh, whoops. Did I? Oh, okay. That was a strange bug. I tried to go back and that window slowed up. Okay, I'm just gonna restart this. did not expect to run into a bug that early.
Can I come in now?
The voices are okay. This is your room. Looks fine to me. Your bands don't make it easy, do they? Use cursor and right click to move. Save frequently since it does not autosave. Oh, that's nice. So it feels like it plays like a point and click adventure. Although the moving camera makes it a click to move thing a little disorienting. Z to examine. No, I'm pressing the Z key. That's not it. Ah, I pressed R. Okay, so the interface, the button prompts don't correspond to whatever I have configured, so that's a little thing I need to figure out. Let's see what happens if I just... Oh, that is nice. That's so cute. Oh, that's clever. This interface layout. I mean, it kind of it folds away, and these don't need to move at all because they're just in the right position when the dock appears. Let's just save. So that means, as I correctly guessed, R, L, and A were actually the wrong buttons. This should have been Z, X, and C. Again, this doesn't show up on screen because I'm not capturing it correctly. This drop-down menu doesn't actually show all of the keys. It shows the keys that you would commonly be expected to use. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It means that I can't configure it completely freely according to where I want to put my hand on the keyboard. For example, I can't do something weird like IJKL for movement. Oh, I just pressed set to default and now it's saying Z, X, and C. That's weird. Why did it say A, R, and L then? Honestly, I'm not really sure why that happened, but setting it to default fixed the entire issue, so better watch out for that. So when was the last time a game really used numpad as standard? It was probably in the very early 2000s, I think. And looking at the graphical level of this game so far, this does appear to be probably late PlayStation era. So early 2000s. The poly count is rather low, and the game still looks nice because it's all in a much higher resolution, so all the edges of the polygons are quite smooth. But yeah, considering all of the poly counts here, and the texture resolution, so you can see on that gate the resolution is rather low, and the models are rather simplistic. I would say that this is probably around 2002, 2003. So like I said before, late PlayStation era, or maybe very early PlayStation 2. Bacon and eggs is my specialty. I like bacon and eggs too. Okay, since I was doing some kind of review, I've actually forgotten what I'm supposed to do. Helen, my name is Fan. Nice to meet you. Are there really no kids in this town? Welcome, I am Disc. Right, I need to press the Y button to open my menu. I can't press start. A lot of JRPGs do that. Actually, the menu is actually on the the topmost face button on the right. It looks like I only have. I can only equip one item, I guess. Another thing that's nice here is that I can just dynamically change between inputs. Like, there are so many different control options here. I can use the mouse click drag, I can use the keyboard to move, I can use the keypad. It just accepts everything, and I don't need to, you know, reset the game and lock myself into a certain mode. Yeah, I guess it is kind of boring, because I'm pretty bored so far. I'm pretty sure that's intentional though. I think I have a good hang on the controls. And I've introduced myself to all of the NPCs. This is generally pretty par for the course for an RPG actually. I'm not really upset by that. Oh dear, what's that? Was that a dog?
Is that a kid? Wow, an adventure!
Oh, now things are getting interesting. So, I mean, if it was some other kind of genre, I'd be a bit bothered by the fact that I haven't played the game yet, despite having played for like half an hour. But, well, I'm pretty sure I'm about to get to the good stuff now. This is all very cutesy, I mean, regarding all the art and all that, and sounds. These are all just cutesy, yokai. They're clearly based on yokai. Here we go, now we have a world map. Let's see, I can still open the menu, but all the other buttons don't work. Let's see what this is. Talk. No ancient ruins here. That's oddly specific. Come to see my dance? Oh, that is such an obvious railroad. But I can't hate it. New. Potato Ruins, Nanometer Shrine. Potato Ruins, Nanometer Shrine. Attention! Something is written here. Of course. Alright, let's do this. Oh no! It's some kind of spider. For a critical hit, time your attacks to the moment when star and note converge on timing bar. It's all following the beat. This is much better than just button mashing. Constantly getting criticals as long as I just listen to the music. That is, I've never seen something like that before, some kind of music-based combat in a game like this. Guard dash. Right, so that's the dash button. Oh, that was not my input. It's actually just showing me. That was kind of silly that it made that tutorial made me go through the entire area safely, but then it just dragged me back. So I'm guessing when I'm faded out like that, I have a bunch of invincibility frames. Now, in a lot of fighting games, you usually need to have good tempo when you fight as well. But this is nice because it's just having some kind of musical bar at the top. I'm suddenly reminded of Shovel Knight for some reason. Although this game is much older than that. And I'm using a drill. From what I could see, there was also some kind of soft lock-on that went automatically when I was facing that enemy. It was hard to see, but it was a faint blue circle. 2 points. Okay, so let's see. And the item highlighted red. So I just move up to it. There we go. The charge time is a little bit longer than I would have liked. It takes a bit longer than I would have been more comfortable with. Oh, there was some kind of attack indicator as well. Okay, there's also some kind of what's it called? There's input queuing. When I attacked and pressed the jump button straight after, I actually do jump by the time the animation finishes. I wonder if I can crawl through this. Okay, let's just not bother with crawling through. And destroy a bunch of ruins. Boss time, given the obvious cutscene. Oh dear, everything's destroyed. Looks like I've been playing for close to an hour. It's kind of a shame that I did not fight a big boss, but for a tutorial map I suppose that's okay. That said, it was kind of fun dungeon crawling like that. Though I do wonder if I can earn more allies. I was expecting some kind of party-based game where I collected monsters or something when I saw the picture. Oh. Okay, that's one ally. I'm guessing my actual goal here is to rebuild that monster village, and not bring them into combat. Four phantoms attacks monster village. Those phantoms are way too strong. Okay, so that means I have to find 4 big dungeons and defeat 4 big bosses. Let's find the other monsters. I suppose it's no better time to review than any other. Now that entire thing was an introduction. Fairly lengthy, but for an RPG this is actually rather par for the course. Because it just lets you see the game and explore it. That's a fairly slow pace. It's quite relaxed. And this entire art style is quite cutesy as well, which just adds to this whole relaxing thing. But I'm essentially just going from like field area to map area. Yeah, so I'm essentially going between the town and the dungeon, which checking stuff out and how this place develops, and then doing a bit of dungeon crawling, which is what I assume the rest of the game is going to be like. Overall, the combat was fairly simple, but it was quite fun. And as an action RPG, that's pretty much the important thing, right? Even if, you know, all you can do is just swing your sword around, it has to be really satisfying and exciting visually and just experience-wise. And this was pretty cool. It's all quite cutesy, and using an exotic weapon here with the drill. These idle animations are really cute as well. I mean, she's going along with the music, I guess. Overall, I think this is a pretty fun-looking game. It's all very cutesy, using a quite cute anime art style, and being an old game. I believe it was first made for PC in 2003 or something. This is obviously going to be stable no matter what system you play it on. And there's no loading times at all. Because of that, everything is low poly, and because of the cute anime art style, it also ages fairly well. Now, configuration-wise, since this was made for PC at first, there are actually a variety of options. Not as much as you would have for a modern game, but there are a number of configuration options which I would say is quite a bit of variety for something in its day. Now, the manual was rather slow going to learn all the controls, but overall the controls are fairly simple, so a manual like that would help for someone who's not familiar with games. But you know, there are only a couple of buttons that are important. There's jumping, attacking, dashing, and the menu. And it's all very responsive to my controller. And the fact that there is controller support is rather cool as well, since controllers weren't a thing in the early 2000s. So it was very nice that they added support for this, even though there's no interface indicators for controller. It's all just expecting you to play with the keyboard only or with the mouse, which is kind of how PC games of that day were played. I haven't really tried playing with the keyboard yet because, well, playing with a gamepad is probably more intuitive for me now. It's been a long time since I don't remember ever playing with numpad and ZXC. Graphically, this is kind of what I expect from an old game running at a high resolution. For something cel-shaded like the character, you know, she looks perfectly fine in a high resolution because the textures are just flat colors. But the low texture resolution of many of these objects here do begin to show its age. Oh, that's interesting. What was that? Oh dear, that was some kind of... That is a tree throwing bombs. Oh dear. Oh, I'm in pain. And that's an emoticon showing that I'm in pain. Oh dear. Let's use this cookie. This is a little awkward though. I can't grab chests, these crates that easily. I need to get the right angle and walk into it. It would have been nice to just have an action button. Okay, this is the point where I think I need to retreat. Oh, or just use this heal beacon. I almost missed that. Yes. Alright. The fact that I can save anywhere is also quite amazing. Yeah, this is another sign that this is a PC game, because normally you can just save anywhere you want. Save points were really an invention of console games because of limited memory. That also means I can just quit at any time I want. Oh dear. Can I reuse this? Yes. The only flaw though is that when I lose focus, the game pauses, but that's usually what I actually expect from a PC game, because sometimes you just need to switch. So yeah, overall this is just great. I'll probably check this game out again if I have some free time. Though there are a lot of games in my backlog. So yeah, this is pretty cool. It's an old game, but it's definitely excellent. Made by Falcom, a Japanese PC game developer. And yeah, I think that's it. So thank you for watching, and see you next time.